Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're doing a little smart car. This is the bumper corner we've got to do. This is a little cheap trade job I'm doing for someone. Damage is not too bad. Some light scuffing now. Just masking off the trim so I can start sanding into it. Thought I'd give the old voiceover a go today. Been watching Jay over at the Humble Paint Sprayer on YouTube. I put a link in the description to his channel. If you've not already gone and followed him, go and give him a follow and tell him I sent you. He does some great content. He's got his own little body shop, and he tried voiceover for the first time the other day. And, it was pretty cool, and I thought, you know what, I've never done a voiceover, so yeah, thought I'd give it a go. Something a little bit different, getting bored of doing the same old videos all the time. I was just flattening that down with 180 grit, and the deeper gouge, instead of putting filler in it, I ironed it out with a bit of 80 grit, and then went back over with 180 and 320, and I'm going around the edges now with an 800 prep pad. That's from 3M, them blue discs you see me use. Just putting some plastic primer on there now, on the raw bits. And decided to go with my aerosol primer, Pro XL, the black one. You'll see in a minute. I ended up going over to UV. I thought it was dry and I started sanding it and I squidged it. I got the so I washed it all off with thinners and dusted some of my UV primer over it. We're just putting the first little grip coat of colour on now. With my Lecturer paint scheme, I put a little grip coat and then 2 wet coats and then a drop coat. So I'm just literally giving it a little dust about now, using the iWater LPH 80 for that base coat there, and just drying that off. And then you'll see me go through the next stages of putting more coats on. What you'll see here is I'm being very accurate with a small fan there to try and keep the colour away from the top edge. This is the first proper coat. I'm only flicking a bit of colour up the top, but the obviously the main colour is down the bottom where the damage was. Just tacking off here, getting ready for my drop coat. Where I was in the corner here, it's like a little kind of wind trap, but it was loads of dust kicking up and load of little bugs about today. So I was trying to keep it as clean as possible. This didn't come out mint, but well clean enough for a little cheap trade job, to be fair. Customer was over the moon. I left some bits in it. If I'm not getting paid my normal amount, then I'm not giving them the full whammy service, if that makes sense. I still polished it and what have you, but I just made it good enough for the money they've paid. No, that sounds a bit disrespectful, but when you work for some of these companies that only pay you cheap money to do a quick trade job, you've got to kind of draw the line at chasing perfection, I suppose. They got their money's worth. I think we're nearly ready for a bit of clear coat now from memory. You have to bear with me, I've not done voiceover before. Let's get some clear on this thing. This is where I found a little white bug. I was debating whether to clear over it. I thought, no, I'll try and pick it out. Just trying to find the little paint pick needle thing that I got. A little needle with serrated blades on it. Pull dirt nibs and stuff out of paint. It's so annoying. Mind you, you have a run of it. Sometimes you get no bugs, and then sometimes you get bugs all the time. This little corner that I was in, it's like a little wind trap. It's a nightmare. Just getting the blends ready now. I've got my blender. I use the Speed Hacker one on the screen now, the 1036. I've got that for my gun, and I've got an aerosol of it as well. Sometimes I just fancy using an aerosol, and sometimes I put it in my gun. I'm just melting in the edges there now. Just checking that it's gone in alright. That Speed Hacker's the best fade out thinners that I've found. I've tried all sorts of brands, and I'm really happy with this one. Works pretty decent. If you're unsure of what fade out thinners to try, yeah, definitely recommend it. As you can see, looks pretty decent. Finish looks alright. A few dirt nibs in it. I just flattered it off, giving it a little polish over. Yeah, what I was saying earlier about giving them their money's worth, I could have stayed there for another half hour. I got every single little nib out, made it flawless. But sometimes when you're doing a cheap job, you've got to kind of know where to draw the line. It's still plenty presentable enough. They'd never notice the nibs, but obviously I do. And the thing is, if you're doing a job at a discounted price for a trade company, I've just given them their money's worth, if that makes sense. I could have stayed longer, but I'm not getting paid for it. The job was already too cheap. So I just done it so it looked good enough. The customer was over the moon. It looked well presentable. I'm using my Rupes rotary machine polisher, and I'm using the Cartec polishing system. A lot of people always ask me. So that's the green cutting pad, and I'm using, I think it's called 3000 is their most aggressive cut there. So I always do 3 sets of cutting, and I find that it never comes back. And then I'll refine it. I'm just using the little PXE80 there, and I'm using their 9000, which is their like refining compound. And there's the results. Look pretty decent. Couldn't see where I'd been. like I said, it weren't flawless, but for a cheap trade job it's ample. Here we have it, guys. Jobbed. Customers over the moon. That was a cheap trade job that I just done. I thought I'd do the video a bit different. I've never done voiceover before. Yeah, let me know what you think about it. I was watching Jason's channel, Humble Paint Sprout. I'll put a link in the description. I have mentioned him before. Some of you guys have subscribed to him. If you haven't, go and watch his channel. He done a voiceover for the first time. I thought it was pretty good. So God knows how this is going to pan out. I've got to go home and do the voiceover with all the kids. So yeah, we'll see how it works out. We're just trialling it out. I'm off to go and pick up another one now and drop that off to its customer. So yeah, that is it from me today. As always, a massive thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon on the next one. Stay safe and be lucky.